But now let's look at the picture, and then let's look at the actual radish here. And I want to ask you, have you ever seen a radish this big? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it. I think everybody would want to see how it looks on the inside. So let's go ahead and cut it. And let's just give it a cut here. Now these mustard greens came from the 50-cent Walmart pack that I bought last year, and this is how they look. So they look, of course, exactly as they do in the picture. Hello everyone, and welcome to the back garden yard. Today we are going to pick a radish to go with our mustard greens. Everyone likes to see what I'm planting, and so this is what they call a hybrid kimchi radish. And as you see, it's got the Asian writing on it. And then the other thing that I planted and we're going to pick today is going to be the mustard greens, and these are called the India, Florida broadleaf mustard greens. So let's go out and see how they look. And I want to ask you, have you ever seen a radish this big? We're going to put it down here beside the seed packet, and there you go. Would you just look at that radish? So I'm going to take this radish in, and I will put part of it into the mustard greens and boil them down with the mustard greens today. And the other thing that we will do with it is she will make a dish. She makes a kimchi with these radishes, and that's what, of course, why it's called a hybrid kimchi radish. Now these mustard greens came from the 50-cent Walmart pack that I bought last year, and this is how they look. So they look, of course, exactly as they do in the picture. And we've got these huge broadleaf leaves of mustards. I really like these better than the curly mustard, and the reason is, if you have curly mustard, you almost always have to spray them to keep the worms and the bugs from getting all in the curly leaves. These are broadleaf, and these have not been sprayed. Now the best thing to do is to take the big leaf and cut it off right here at the base. And then as you pick them, you can inspect the back and see if there are any worms or bugs on them. They're not, it's totally clean. And then you can take this and peel it up and get that big stem out of there. Now a lot of people eat these stems, and I like to cut the stem off about right here and eat the rest of it, because the stem is actually good food, but we're gonna discard this for now. It gets a little bit tougher, but there's good fiber in the stems. All right, we'll get the next leaf. And once again, if there's a bad spot, you want to just kind of pull that out, and then check it for any worms or bugs. There's none. We had this big rain. These are very, very clean. They'll only take a quick rinsing before I boil them. Now, what happens is, if you leave them like this, then these will continue growing until we have the hardest freeze of the winter. That usually comes around Christmas. And so hopefully I can come out and get another picking of these for Christmas. Now, and I'll show you, I've already picked these back here. I picked these for Thanksgiving, and you can see they're coming back out now. And I've already fed 23 people from this patch. So everybody that wanted mustard greens got them, and there were some left over. So that's the way to pick them, and that way if you don't cut the whole plant, they will continue to grow as long as we don't have that hard freeze. So now this is what the mustard patch looks like now that I've finished my harvest. And as you can see, there's lots of nice new leaves coming out, and as long as we don't get a hard freeze with ice, they will probably continue to grow right on into near Christmas. Usually around that time we get a 20-degree night or more, or we'll get an ice storm with some sleet and hail or something, and that will finish them off. So anyway, I'm hoping to have another nice harvest for Christmas. But anyway, let's take these inside now, and I'll show you how I like to cook them. Okay, so we're now back inside, and I've got this in the sink, and I think we can see just how close this came to the picture on the package here. And once again, I'll put my hand up here and you see just how big this radish is. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it. I think everybody would want to see how it looks on the inside. And let's just give it a cut here. What a beautiful piece of vegetable. That is just so delicious looking. So we've got our radish cut, and I'll eat part of it. My wife will make some kimchi with it, and that's what we'll do with this. Okay folks, so now we're ready to cook these greens. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this pot of water. I've only got it about a third full, and I'm going to just literally take the greens and boil them down in this large pot. Just put them in there. No salt, no pepper, no seasoning, and just slowly kind of put them in there and work them down until they all boil down. Now, once they've boiled down, I'm going to put them into this pot. And this is the pot that I'm going to put all my seasoning in. And I want to show you what seasonings I use, because that's what makes the mustard greens so good. So as these are boiling down, then I will be getting this ready and let it go ahead and start. So let's go ahead and I'll show you how I do this. So the first thing is I cooked bacon this morning. And I've got the bacon grease. It has congealed here, but it's still fine. So I'm going to put 1 teaspoon of bacon grease into my water over here, and just let that boil around. Then I'm going to get a pork neck bone. I bought a pack of pork neck bones, and I use them for cooking when I'm making different vegetables. The smoked pork just really, and the bacon really give it the flavor you want. So we're going to take this and just go ahead and throw it in. Why I'm doing this is to go ahead and let some of that flavor get into the water. Okay, now the next thing is I need to salt and pepper the water. A little more of that off. There we go. So we're just going to use regular old salt, and maybe about what I would consider a teaspoon. And then the pepper. Go ahead and put that in there, and just cover the top with a light layer of pepper. You don't want too much pepper. And then here's the secret ingredient. These are Tabasco peppers by Trappy's is the brand. There's other brands, but I like these Trappy's. And it's peppers, hot peppers in vinegar. And what I do is They've been soaking since they were put in this bottle in the vinegar. You take 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 shakes of vinegar, and then I want to take one of these peppers out. Just reach in there and grab one. There we go. And I'm going to take it and crush it. And I'm going to just throw it into the pan, crushed. Oh, we're talking some flavor now. And that's really basically all the seasoning I'm going to do until right at the end I'll add just about 1 pat of butter. And that's it. Okay, so let me finish boiling these down. Now let me show you how we do this. So I've got my long tongs, and there they go. They're boiling down, and all those greens just went down into that little bit of water. So we'll add the next bunch. There they are. These greens were very clean. I only found 1 chewing bug, and I found no worms. They were really some of the best, but of course we've already had a 27-degree night, but they were some of the cleanest I've ever picked. So I'm putting these on in. Okay, so this just took a couple of minutes, and I believe we've got a good boil down on them. Yes, we do. And so now you can see that they have boiled all the way down back into the water, and that's the way we wanted them. So now I'm literally just going to go ahead and transfer them into this cooking pot. And here we go. I will actually cook them for about an hour, and then I will add the radish. And the reason I don't want to add the radish now is the radish might just literally cook away. Those are already smelling right, folks. Okay, so now I'm going to add the radish to the greens. I'm going to cut it into not too big of sections, but maybe 6 pieces. And let's take a look at the greens now. Oh yeah, look at those greens. They have boiled up now. They are just looking and smelling so good. Go ahead and throw the radishes in there. There you go. And they will soak up some of that flavor. All right, now the thing I need to do is I need to make some cornbread so that I can sop up some of this pot liquor. Now, pot liquor is what you call this juice that they're boiling in. There's nothing like eating mustard greens and soaking up the pot liquor. So I'll show you how to do that when we do the eating demonstration here in a few minutes. But first, we're gonna make some cornbread. Okay, so now we are gonna make the cornbread. And what we want to do is I've got some peanut oil here. We're going to take the peanut oil and pour out a little over 1/8 of a cup. That's good. Then we're going to take the peanut oil and we're going to grease this skillet. And we're just going to pour some in the middle and take our fingers, spread it all around, and grease the skillet like this. All right, we got her all greased now. And then we're going to take the rest of the peanut oil and we're going to pour it in 3/4 cup of milk. We're going to add 1 egg. And we're going to stir that up real quick. And now we've got this White Lily buttermilk enriched white cornmeal mix. And it's self-rising, so I don't need to add anything to make the cornbread rise. And we're just going to take this and we are going to pour it into this bowl. And we'll go ahead and we're going to pour the wet in first. And then we're going to be stirring and we're going to pour 1 1/4 cups of cornmeal mix into this bowl. And stir it up just until it all gets wet. Like this. That's got oil, egg, cornmeal mix, and milk. All right, it's ready to go. You don't want to overstir it. Now, we're gonna just pour this into the skillet. Just like this. Okay. And then we're just going to pop this into the 400-degree oven. Which is not yet 400, but we're going to go ahead and pop it in anyway. There we go. So we're going to bake it for 25 minutes exactly, and then we're going to take it out. So there's nothing worse than overdone, dried out cornbread. And by then, these greens will be perfectly done and it'll be time to eat. Okay, so now it has been 25 minutes. Let's check on our cornbread. Oh yeah, that is looking fine. So everything is ready now for a sampling. So we'll go ahead and sample the greens and the cornbread, and we'll show you how to sop up the pot liquor. Okay, let's dip us up a sample of the greens. Oh yeah. And we want to get some of that pot liquor. A little more pot liquor. There we go. All right, we're going to get us one of these radishes. All right. That looks like a pretty good sample. Now let's put it over here on the plate And let's cut the cornbread. And let's just get us a big slice of cornbread here. And there's the cornbread. Okay. And now let's give the greens a try. That is so good. Now let's just try this cornbread here. Got the pot liquor. We're gonna sop it up. Been looking forward to this all day. That is so good. Now let's try one little piece of this radish. Whoop, a little hot here. So folks, that is how you cook Southern style mustard greens. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe to the channel, and we will see you on the next video.